You say. Can you see
All
me?
right, I think we're live. It's gonna let a couple people tune on real quick.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tag your timeline.
Okay. I see it.
Yep, we're live.
Okay.
All right. All right, so we got some people on. Sorry, we had some technical difficulties here. Just trying to set ourselves up. This is not going to be long tonight as we put in the intro. Anise, I'm going to tag you here.
Okay.
Well, I can't tag you, but I can share it on your page, I guess.
Okay.
Welcome, 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 everybody. All right, we're live. All right, so we had some some really technical difficulties going on here, but we definitely have to start our series here. We have the Purpose Lab, which is Boss Up Chat Series. And it's with myself, which is Lauren L.C. Thriver, and the beautiful queen, Anise Silimon.
What's up? What's up?
From out in Florida, and
Georgia.
I'm here in New York.
I'm in Georgia.
In Georgia, sorry.
That's okay. It's all good.
I forgot you were in Georgia.
Yeah.
So, okay. Hi, Michael. Welcome. So, if you're on, go ahead and chat in the type in the chat. We definitely wanted to come together, and we are creating a series of chats for you guys on Tuesday nights at 9:30 technically, but we're starting a little late today because technology has been hating on me all day. From Facebook being blocked in the whole nine. So, hi, Melissa. Hola, mami. So we're going to, Anise is going to share a bit of what we will be talking about and discussing. It's not going to be too long. What's up, St. Louis? Hey, Cortez. And we're going to talk about a few things that, you know, her and I had on our hearts that we wanted to speak on and just create I guess you could say a safe haven here where we collaborate and we all, you know, support one another. A lot of times, you know, we don't have as much support as we should. So, Anise, you want to go ahead and share on?
Yeah. Like Lauren said, I see there's Michael, I don't know you. So we were gearing this towards women, but really this is for anybody that is in the professional space that is thinking about taking a big leap or changing their profession or really in a purpose crisis. And so when we talk about boss up, we're really just talking about taking ownership of where you are and taking ownership of where you want to go and how do you bridge that gap safely. And what does that gap look like from person to person, because it's different for everybody. So we wanted to get on and have a safe space, have a place where people could collaborate about where they are or what is even a purpose crisis, how do we move through it and keep our life intact, keep our families intact, keep our finances intact, but still go to the next level. Lauren?
Absolutely. I'm just make sure you guys go ahead and share if you know anybody who, you know, definitely wants to boss up. And, you know, Anise and I are both entrepreneurs, and, you know, it takes, you know, a collaborative effort of everybody coming together. And not times I feel like in the entrepreneur world, a lot of us feel as though there's some competition when there shouldn't be any kind of competition. So we got the wrong C word mixed up here. So that's where Anise and I, we just collaborated. We already we just talked the same language. We just connected right away. And it was just like, hey, you know, like, you're a boss, I'm a boss. Let's team up and let's speak and have a chat series for these people, you know, to be able to come and talk with us on Tuesday night. So I hope that this is something that, you know, would be of a great, you know, inspiration for some folks. I definitely feel in my heart this is something that will be needed for people. If you ever want us to talk or speak on particular topics, feel free to go ahead and type it in the chat or anything like that. Okay, so Melissa said she's in the middle of this right now, trying to transition from employee to employer. So, Nisha, you want to talk on that?
Yeah, Melissa. I think it would be great, like, if we had a little more time, but maybe we can like dig into this a little bit. When we talk about the life space, what does your life look like? Are you married? Are you single? Do you have kids? You know, because when we talk about taking the big leap, sometimes a big leap for me may be baby steps for you. And that's still taking a big leap if it's, you know, you're having to give up hours of sleep or hours of family time to pursue your dream or to pursue that place of purpose. So what is, if you could just type in, what does your life look like right now? Are you married, single? You know, are you trying to take a complete big leap? Do you have the cushion for that? What's going on?
I believe she's married and have kids, but I'll let her, we'll wait for her comment. I mean, I know that definitely what you talked about, Anise, is like, you know, as far as being able to take that leap, it's customized. You know what I mean? It's really been a lot of times people think that you, like, everybody can just go in and quit. And I'm those people that as soon as I got into, you know, an opportunity, you know, you get sold all these dreams, and I started in network marketing. So you see all these people making money, and you're like, I could do it. And I straight quit my job. I'm not even gonna lie. I took the wrong leap, and which is why now with my coaching program that I took in Thrive Abundantly is that, you know, like what you said, you know, definitely go ahead and create that cushion, you know, make sure that you're ready. Like, I wasn't mentally ready in the space, but I guess I needed it. I needed to jump with no parachute. Like, that's literally what I did. And I learned the other way, but I don't always recommend it for everyone, and it's not always ready. Okay. So she says she's married with 2 toddlers, anesthesia tech, family business of real estate, and laundry mat. Come watch my.
So Melissa, you have a lot going on. You have a lot going on. So the first place that I would say is realistically sitting down with your husband and mapping out my healthcare benefits. Yeah. Yes, your healthcare benefits. Yes, amen. I support that. So when you're talking about the map out, we're talking about mapping your way out of a cubicle completely, in a sense. You're going to have to map, in your map, you're going to have what does healthcare of 2 toddlers, what does that really look like? What are we looking like about adding that income back into what we're doing as a business? How long is that going to take? You guys have multiple things going on. Mm-hmm. I'm reading one of them.
I'll comment on hers on Royal.
Okay, you guys have multiple things, businesses that are going on, and to that income that you have coming in from like the 9 to 5 space, and also the space of it being your healthcare benefits. We know as small business owners, the way the healthcare is set up now, it's good for everyone, but for the small business, it is really crippling. It's really crippling. And so when you are talking about specifically for you, I have it like on my computer, so I'm looking up and down. I know you guys are like, where's she? Oh my gosh. When you're talking about taking the big leap, honestly, it's a big leap, but it may take you 6 months to 9 months aggressively to fully transition. It's okay if it takes a year and a half, and you actually store up the money that it's going to cost for your medical care, your medical benefits, and have that put away, and you pay that outright, and then you don't have to worry about that anymore. Mapping out is going to be so important, and it's okay if you have the money stored up that you have allocated to certain things that you don't have to worry about when you are concentrating on moving through the map.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Definitely makes sense for me. Melissa, let us know if that makes sense. I definitely, I think with anything, you need a plan and a strategy. That is one thing I talk about all the time. And I wish I had it before. So like, I started actually having a plan and a strategy now within a year. And that's when my business skyrocketed. And it took me about 5 years from taking that big leap. And that's because I didn't have a plan. I just said I can make money and I jumped. You know what I mean? But I didn't have any kids. I barely, like, the job and stuff that I had, I was in a union. I had pretty decent benefits or whatever, but it wasn't something that held me down enough, and it's more because I was, single. I don't have any children at that time. No, I was living alone or whatever the case may be, but still it was very limited. Thank you for this discussion. I swear this is no coincidence to speaking to you, Lisa. Like, oh, good. I'm glad that actually helped. And, Melissa, if there's anything, that I could personally do, like I can always share particular strategies that you should have in place that really you should be, especially with you being a business owner. I know those are the things that I kind of had more strategic with being able to create more of that cushion, what Anise talked about, that helps you to be able to transition out. But another thing too, I know business owners that make really good money in their business, but yeah, they have families and benefits and they still stayed at their job. They've had a pretty decent, successful business for about 5 years, but they benefit off of both. I've known for them to be able to move from the office into their home, and now they work their job and their business at home. I don't know if that's an opportunity for you, but there's always ways to kind of start slowly taper and transition. Unless you want to be a daredevil and just jump like me. I don't always recommend it because, man, I jumped and I had no parachute. I got all scrapes, bruises, and bumps, but they're definitely, scrapes, bruises, and bumps of pride. Like, I made it out, and not many people do. I know a few people who jumped with me and they either had to go back to work or, didn't make it out. So I wanted to talk, and I know Royal Jewel, she said, can you speak on motivation for young women as myself? What's some good advice for young owners and young entrepreneurs? So I really want to talk on this here because I actually mostly talk and cater to, your audience as far as those within your age range. I'm guessing when you say young, I mean like, probably like early 20s or anything like that. You have every time to screw up. Like, you have every opportunity, especially if you don't have children or that many like responsibilities or anything like that, which is why I continue to just go for it. Like I've signed up to so many different network marketers. I was like, oh, what you doing now? You selling lipstick? Oh, Lauren, what you selling? Insurance? What are you doing? I didn't have a problem doing that. And don't ever feel like, how can I say this? I never felt any kind of way about anything where someone was like, well, what you doing now? Or, or anything, because I was finding myself on what I needed to go to. I needed to find the niche. You have to find your niche and what you want. I finally been able to find my niche, but I had to continue to go to different opportunities. I had to try different paths or things like that. So with someone young, like you have the perfect opportunity, especially if you have no kids. So if it's something that, you want to do and you're maybe a little scared, I'll be the one to tell you to jump. Where you could, create the opportunity to try that, and there's no such, a lot of things where I tell, especially with a lot of my coaching clients and my teams, there's no such thing as failure. If you think there's a thing of failures are lessons to success. So, I never look at a sense of like, oh, if I do this, it's not going to work. If you know that there's no such thing as failure, then why not go for it? Because you're going to either learn to become a success or learn on what you can do and what you consider as a failure to go to the next level up. I remember posting a post before. I said, when you're continuously learning, like failure are lessons to learn, correct? So I look at failure as lessons to success. So if it's lessons, that means you're continuously learning. So if you're in a space where you're continuously learning, it's like you're continuing to climb, and once was your ceiling where you felt like you hit becomes your floor, but now you're on the next level. Makes sense? So I hope that was helpful. Royal Jewel, I might have went a little over. I get very inspired with stuff like that. So I hope that was some helpful, tips or anything as far as where you are. Let us know in the chat.
Can I speak to this? I don't know if is she still there?
Go ahead.
I can't tell.
Okay. I can't tell if she's on. If she comments, we'll know.
Yeah, I can't tell. Because this is like there's a lag. Okay, I'm super silly, super animated. So I'm gonna speak to this, and I'm speaking to this from I've always been an entrepreneur. I've been on my own since I was 16, and I was an entrepreneur to the point where when I was like, I know this is shenanigans because we're on Facebook, but whatever. When I was 19, 20, I sold drugs. I've always been an entrepreneur in that space. Yes, I'm gonna be honest. Now
speak on it.
Yeah, now I have 2 master's degrees and I'm finishing up my doctorate degree, my PhD. And so this is what I would say to young people. I'm knocking on the door of 40, but if I would not go back to my 20s for anything. Because yes, in that trying and hitting your head and doing a lot of things, here's the thing, you don't have to do a lot of things. Understand what you do very, very well and stay in that vein. Other veins will open to you as you get wisdom and as you get knowledge about who you are, because you're still identifying with your personality. You're identifying with who am I? And so when you're saying who am I, you're still coming and understanding what your calling and your purpose is because you don't know it. And so if you want to taste success, a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Where you have it more at a rhythm, where you have more ups and downs, where you're not coming and accruing a lot of debt because you are, starting and stopping, starting and stopping, starting and stopping. Really identify, go back to what you did very well as a child. Go to your place of your skill set. Now I'm gonna say this, with my clients, I believe in bread and butter. All of my clients that come to me must have bread and butter. What is bread and butter? Bread and butter is, let's say you work a 40-hour. In that 40-hour, you do multiple skills. So let's say, for instance, I'm an administrative assistant, right? So I file, I answer phones, I answer emails, I do all of these things. So really, I could become a virtual assistant on the side. When I go home, I could take 2 or 3 hours and for myself, this is my money, and I could become a virtual assistant, right? I take all of that money and I make sure, and because I'm young, I take all that money and I make sure my light bill is paid, my car note is paid, my car insurance is paid. Is this making sense? And so that when it is time for me to concentrate on the one thing that I do well, which you do, let me give you permission. You do have time to change that one thing. I'm talking about the one thing in the moment. And that one thing is going to open up to another one thing, which is going to open up to another one thing, which eventually is going to open up to 2 things, which is going to open up to 3 things as you get older and as you grow and as you come into who you are. You don't have to do a million things. You just have to be strategic about what's in your hand. Is this making sense?
Totally. I agree 100%. Going back to when I said I took the leap and tried this, tried that, and doing this, got this hustle, got that hustle, and all those different things. The thing is like, you want to focus on essentialism, like as far as having one thing. When you focus on one thing, and like Anise said, those other things open up. Yes. So for me, like the same thing, like once that started to open up other opportunity, it was like the next door opened, then the next door opened, then I was then able to go ahead and do that. So for me, I've always had the entrepreneur spirit too, since I was about 18. I started when I was selling knives and the scissors where you cut. If people understood what I am, let us know in the chat if you ever heard of Cutco Vectors. Yeah. I did that. I've always did something where I can have some hustle in my some money in my pocket, because I had 2 jobs in school. I always had to figure out a way to have, income. But the thing is, it's not about how much money you have. It's about how much you can keep and then grow. So one of my affirmations I say every day is, I'm so happy and grateful that I have the mental capacity to know how to earn money, hold it, keep it, and grow it. You know what I mean? So that's the key. Literally, I just dropped some jewels for y'all. I hope y'all write that down. You need to be able to know how to earn money, hold money, and let it grow. Because that is literally the 3-step system to success. And you got to learn how to do that over and over again. the things that you're most good at, and then continue to grow. And it's not all the time. Like, I used to hear that all the time when I was younger, and it used to piss me off, honestly. It used to make me really mad when it'd be like, find your one thing. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm good at this. I could do makeup. You know, at one point I was getting into makeup artistry. So I was doing girls, you know, makeup for prom and all that. Then I'm like, well, I'm really good at, you know, designing. I want to do that. Like, it was just so many things. So for anyone who feel as though they're kind of stuck on what their one is, you know, just one thing I would say to yourself, meditate and talk to yourself. So don't let me go too long. Let me just check we're here. She said, I'm here. I own a child care and a home health business as an independent provider. Very encouraging words. Thank you guys so much for the inspiration to keep pushing forward. Yes, entrepreneurs rock. Yes. Okay. Somebody else, did I miss one comment? Okay. Linda, yes, she said exactly. Who am I, and find your purpose. That is one of the key things for me. And I got to the point where I fell through a deep depression because I was one of those people all over the place doing so many things, and I just felt burnt out and tired, and I was just losing time, just all over the place. I mean, like, when I tell you I was everywhere, like, I even enlisted into the Navy. I was signing my life over to the Navy. I had a going away party, cut my hair, ready to go, and just trying to figure out all over. I mean, God had another plan. We can always talk about that on another chat. But, you know, when that happened, then I'm like, okay, now I'm back to square one. I have to continue to find out. So if you're at a point where you're not sure what your niche is, get a journal and write down like the top 10 things that you love so much as you can't stop talking about. And I'm going to tell you one thing that changed my life, that one of my mentors, she told me years ago, find something that you love to do that you will do for free, but get paid to do it. That right there opened up a big like avenue for me. And then I just started really focusing on that.
Mm-hmm. I want to say this to that. When you talk about, a lot of people have hobbies. And so if you move in hobby, a lot of us have a lot of things that we can do very well. And so that's where we kind of get stuck. It's like the lion and the lion tamer, right? The lion, how does a lion tamer tame a lion? He takes a stool into the cage. He moves the stool around. The lion cannot concentrate on one leg at a time. He's trying to concentrate on all four, and it paralyzes the lion. And so when you're talking about things that you do very well, what will you do? Because I used to do wardrobe styling here in Atlanta, and I would do it. I was very good at it. I was doing so much free work, and I got discouraged because I was so good at my craft, but everybody would hear it was a superstar, and everybody wanted free work, right? And so that goes back to that bread and butter piece. That goes back to sitting down and really formulating your goals. Where do you want to be? Forget 5 years from now. If you're young, where do you want to be 6 months from now? How much money do you want to have in savings 6 months from now? How do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? It's okay if you don't have a 5-year plan, young people. It's okay if you don't have a 10-year plan, young people. You're still coming into who you are, where you are, and how you fit in life, and that's okay. Let me help you. If you want to find out what your purpose is, say yes. This might take forever. And I want you to for real do this. And then I want you to come back once you arrive at the answer, and I want you to put it on Lauren's timeline when you have arrived at, and your purpose may not look like, my purpose is to be the best, you know, street sweeper there is in the whole world. Because when we start talking about business, you do whatever your value, that's what you do. Whatever value you bring to the marketplace, that's the business that you're in. The value and the benefits that you bring to the marketplace, that is what you do. It's not about the product or the service. It's about the value and the benefit, okay? How do you arrive at your purpose? I want you to write this down. When you get here, you're going to come on her timeline, and you're going to put down what you arrived at, okay? Okay. So you're going to ask yourself this question. You're going to say, what do you do? What do you like, or what are you good at? Okay. And so Lauren, she said back in the day, I'm good at makeup. I'm good at making up people's faces. Okay. We're just gonna go with that for the sake of a example.
Okay.
And then you're going to ask yourself, well, why does that matter? Why? And you're going to answer that. And then when you answer that, you're going to say, why does that matter? And you're going to answer that.
I did that same exact exercise.
And then you're going to ask yourself, why does that matter? And you're going to ask yourself, and you're going to keep going until you find yourself in tears. Mm-hmm. When you've hit tears, you've hit gold. Mm-hmm. And it may not be well defined. You're going to see when you get to the bottom, it's not going to be about makeup anymore. It's going to be about women finding value and their voice of who they are on the inside, matching the voice of who they are on the outside. That's what you're meant to do. And you'll see that you can do that in so many different arenas and fields, and that you get to choose. Your hands may be good at makeup, but your calling is deeper than that. Mm-hmm. And so once you begin to connect with those things that are inside of your appetite is only going to grow. It's not going to change. Your appetite is only going to grow. It is not going to change. And so even at 21, 22, if you know that your calling is that you want, and this usually comes out of hurt and things that we've gone through. If you have dealt with esteem issues, if you have dealt with your voice being heard, if you have dealt with people listening to you, then your calling is going to be that. That goes back to the 5 love languages. We give and we do what we want to be given to us. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense.
And so when you talk about who you are at the core, and if you don't know who you are, you know where you've come through. And usually that's the place that you want to put your stake down on the ground and say, I don't want anybody to feel like this or go through this. And so this is the thing that I'm going to tackle. And then when you get to the bottom of the list and you see that this is what I want to do, I want women's voices to be heard, and I want them to be comfortable in the skin that they're in so they can go out into the world and make their mark. That totally revolutionizes the inside of you. And this is what it's about. Old women, young men, old women, young children, teenagers, whatever. This purpose knows no age. And let me say this to you, and I don't know how many of you guys are saved or you read your Bible or whatever like that, but this is my philosophy. My philosophy is this. Your purpose was created before you. You were put here on this earth to fulfill that place. The garden was made before Adam. The garden was fit before Adam, and then Adam was released into the garden. And everything that was on the inside of Adam was already there for him to have dominion, to reign, to rule, and to tend to the place of his purpose. When you begin to operate in your purpose, you become alive. Even if you don't know what it is, because your purpose will be played out everywhere. If you know that my role is to give a voice to women, it means that if I have to go and work at Bell because I need bread and butter to keep the lights on, I do my job from the vein of I'm giving women a voice. So when I pull their clothes and I take them into the dressing room, it is not about you. It's not about a fitting room. It's about me speaking into your life. It's about me coming into your realm and me operating in my purpose. And when you leave my presence, you will have been built up. And it's so much more than clothes. It's so much more than makeup. It's about the soul. Is this making sense?
Absolutely. Robert, are we not tuning in? I see you said Facebook, stop hating, let the queens have their time. I hope we're still live here and y'all can see us. Type in the chat and let us know if you can still hear us. I noticed a few people tuned off too. If you can hear us, let us know. We'll be wrapping up in a sec.
And so this is what we're going to talk about. I see Melissa, I see your comment. This is really what we're going to talk about next week. We're really going to delve into what is a purpose crisis. Remember, your purpose, you come alive when your purpose is beating inside of you. You come alive. Even if you're not doing something, even if the task is not the best task in the world, if you're operating in your purpose, you are alive while you are doing something that is mundane, that is normal, and that is neutral. If you're operating in your purpose, it makes the task come alive. So we're going to talk about what is a purpose crisis. Certainly when I don't even know who I am all the way. But if you do the exercise of finding what it is you feel that you're called to, that thing that when you start going deeper and deeper and deeper, it moves you to the place of tears, it moves you to the place of compassion, then everything that you put your hands to will be redefined. You got a question on deck.
How do you define success? I feel like I purpose, but
I want to
because Royal, I've been following you for a little while. I've seen you a couple times, Queen, on my timeline, and it sounds like you're similar to me. You may actually be a success. I don't know, but I'm going to tell you to own your success. That was a lesson for me, and I had to learn it now at 30, because I felt like I always was tied as far as like money and riches at one point of success. I mean, I've had, I can show you guys, I have like all the awards, checks, and I've actually even made good money, and I just still kept saying I'm not successful. How do you get to success? And it's just thinking like that big boom. The success is really that your head is still above water. The success is that you're still going after your goals. The success is like you are a success when you said that you have found your purpose. You know how hard that is? People are 50, 60 years old, still don't know what they were even born to do. They say the best thing is the best 2 days is the day that you're born and the day that you found out why you were born. Okay, so you are a success right now. So I'm challenging you, Royal. If that's your real name, if you want me to call you your real name, type in the chat. This is Facebook. And just to let y'all know, my last name is not it's LC Thrive It as a nickname. I'm not French. People think I'm French or something. But to you, Queen, Royal, that's what I'm going to say. I challenge you to just go ahead and say, I want you to write down 50 times on a notebook, I am a success. I am successful. Whatever one your heart jugs on, because you need to own your greatness to be there. You are super successful. Be 23 years old. I lost her. If you guys can still see me, let me know. Technical issues not always on our best side. If you can still hear me and you still see me, type in the chat. Think I'm still live. Okay, you see me. All right. I don't know what happened to Queen Anise here, but for Royal, what I said before, I challenge you and anybody who's on here who feels as though, because I've been at that space where I didn't think I was successful. I kept feeling, okay, she's back. Write down on your journal. You should have a journal. Okay. That's one thing I always say, because a lot of the things that's in your head that's jugging you all over the place, you need to have a brain dump pretty much every night before you go to bed or even in the morning. But write down, I am a success. I am successful. And you need to say that every day to yourself as an affirmation. You know what I mean? Because that is super important. So I hope that was helpful for you, Anise, Royal. Been at that place. Maybe, hold on, let me just go back. So how do you define a success? Okay, so let me just kind of tweak that a little bit. So as far as defining success is, like I said, finding your purpose and why you're here and really living in that is success. And everything you ever wanted, as far as any kind of material things, whatever that comes, it comes when you find your purpose. So for me, and Anise, you can chime in. To me, success is finding your purpose.
Yes. And for you to be young, honestly, you can amass what we would call success in many different realms before you reach the grave, before you reach the other side of glory. You can. You define success how you define success. I could be a success if I'm a stay-at-home mom. If that's what I've decided to do, and I get up every day. I get up when I'm in pain. I get up when I don't want to. I get up when my kids are sick. I do it alone. I do it hungry. I do it cold. I do it sleepless. You define success. And a lot of times success is just living the unknown, living not knowing that there's greater and there's more lessons on the other side of tomorrow. But today, I'm doing today the very best that I can. I'm giving today all I've got, even on the days where all I've got is a little mediocre to the day before it. But success is showing up. Success is serving people. Serving people, leaving your mark on the community that's around you while you're finding your way. While you're finding your way, dumping your legacy in everybody that you touch. And so, yes, you may not, have a lot of money in the bank, and you may, because you got a lot going on. You may not have a lot of money in the bank, but if you have where you're sowing love and kindness and wisdom and knowledge into people, sweetie, you are a great success. If you find that people want to come and sit and get from you, that is a sign that you are a wonderful, great success. You have to decide in your life what success is and what success is not. Because you would hate, and you guys have heard this before, you would hate to get to the end of your life and find that you have put your ladder to the wrong building. And you climb that ladder of success and your building was way over there. You determine what this looks like. As long as you show up with joy, you show up in joy, and you sow your life into others, even when you don't know, even when you feel like you don't have, but you know that people want to be around you and sit with you and get from you, and you are adding value. That is what I define as success. Is it stuck again? I don't even see the comments. Let's see. Are you guys, is it stuck? Can you guys, I don't see any comments either. Well, okay, I think we're going to end this because we are having super technical difficulties. So please do the purpose exercise, leave the answers on Lauren's timeline, and we will see you guys.
Am I still here? I feel like I'm stranded. It says I'm still live. All right. Anissa's having some technical difficulties on her end. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Tune in for next week. This was the first series. I'm so excited. So you have stepped into the Purpose Lab, where your life, your creations, and being able to create your purpose in life has been started here. This is where we experiment. This is where we experience. This is your safe haven and your place. And we hope that you,
Sorry, I don't know what it's doing. It's shenanigans. Sorry.
I was just wrapping up because I saw that you tuned out, but thank you and welcome back. But we just wanted to, put this out here. I hope you guys enjoy this. Share this with your friends, your family. If this was great for you, do some, I can't see on my end, but it should be some thumbs up, hearts, or whatever the case may be. Let us know if this, we look forward to you tuning in to us back next week, Tuesday at 9:30. Bye. Have a good night, guys. Nice.